Hey everyone, today I'm reviewing the movie The Brothers Grimm. It's from 2005, so it's a little bit older, and it's another fantasy movie. However, it's a little bit different than anything that you might have seen before because you might already know some of the plot. A little bit of background. The Brothers Grimm are famous for the childhood fairy tales that you might have heard growing up. So, all of these fairy tales are incorporated into this movie. And unfortunately, I can't really explain the movie without some spoilers. So just be forewarned. You'll probably hear most of the plot throughout this video. So we start out with the two brothers. They're played by Matt Damon and Heath Ledger. Um, they are basically, I guess, con artists pretending to be exorcists. What happens is they go from town to town. They set some of their coworkers up to, I guess, act like they're possessing the town. Different types of props and stuff like that, special effects, and they'll be contacted by the townspeople to come in and deal with whatever they're having in their town. So the example that they use in the movie is two of their coworkers are set up as a witch possessing a barn, and they go in and they have a flaming cross. They have a bunch of different I don't know makeup. Weapons and stuff like that. They have a crossbow that shoots the tears of babies, which apparently kills the witch. Um, it's a little bit like a comedy. It's definitely funny at times. This moment being one of them. Like there's definitely physical humor. Kind of knee slap, stuff like that. Um, but anyway, so they're basically charging these townspeople a lot of money, and they're doing this from town to town. Well, they're famous for this. They get kidnapped by the French, and the French take them into custody, and they blame the Brothers Grimm for kidnapping some of the kids that they're from a town that they're currently occupying. And so the Brothers Grimm are saying, no, this isn't us, but if it's someone that's taking over our business, like obviously we'd like to deal with them. We'll go debunk it. So they get to this town, and the townspeople are saying that there's been a lot of children that have been taken into the forest and they haven't come out. And this is where you start seeing a lot of the old fairy tales. So we've already seen Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. The Beanstalk started out with the two brothers when they were very young. Their sister was sick, and one of the brothers went out to sell their cow, and they came back with magic beans. That's the story of Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. So then you have Hansel and Gretel. Gretel is one of the girls that's taken into the forest and captured by the forest. You have Red Riding Hood is captured, um, and as the movie goes on, you see more and more. So the brothers hire the help of one of the hunters, who I believe comes from the Red Riding Hood tale. So she takes them into the forest, and they discover this extremely large tower, similar to the tower in Rapunzel. They are looking around. The trees are moving. I'm pretty sure that's a fairy tale, but I'm not sure the name. And they're trying to figure out, what exactly is taking these children. They discover an enormous wolf, a werewolf, um, which I'm not sure if that's part of a fairy tale. Probably the big bad wolf, something along those lines. Except that this is like a transforming wolf type thing. Um, so they're trying to figure out, where are the tracks? How can we debunk this? Where's the smoke and mirrors? Where are the pulleys and all these things? And as the movie goes on, they start to realize like this isn't a game. This isn't some farce. This is real. This is actual magic. This is actually happening. And more children keep getting taken, and in more and more like weird and gross ways. One of the children, they almost fall into a well, similar to Jack and Jill, and he's covered in mud, and he turns into the gingerbread man. So that's another tale. A little bit grotesque. It's a little gross. I feel like I use that word a lot for the fantasy movies, but I just feel like if I was a little kid, like I'd get nightmares from some of this stuff. Um, but it's good. It's a good movie. It moves along pretty well. So what ends up happening is, these two brothers, they say, look, we'll take care of it. We'll go in to the forest and we will fight whatever is happening. We'll fight whoever is taking these children. So the two brothers and the huntress, they go into the forest and they find this tower and then they decide to climb it. They go up to the tower. They find this incredibly old queen. She's been up there for like 500 years, and this is where I forget what movie it is, but the movie where the queen keeps looking in the mirror and asking if she's the fairest in the land. I think it's Cinderella, but without Cinderella. So she's up in the tower and she's incredibly old, and there's this spell that she wants to use that uses 12 children or 12 people. I guess that they want children because they want the youth, right? She wants to drain the youth from these children. And the wolf is helping her gather up all these children and putting them in these coffins so that the spell will work. And what ends up happening is they get the 12th person by taking the huntress, who is the daughter of the wolf, the werewolf, who's been put under a curse by the queen. And the queen comes back to life. She is slowly regaining her youth. The two brothers are trying to fight her off. One of the brothers, Matt Damon, is shot, and the other brother is trying to fight off the queen, fight off the werewolf, and bring his brother back to life. It ends up that he takes the magical axe that is used by the huntress. He breaks the mirror, therefore breaking the spell that this queen is under. She breaks into glass, and the spell is completely lifted. All the children wake up. The huntress is back awake. The werewolf turns back into a man, and the second brother, Matt Damon, is brought back to life. And it actually has, in the movie, the cliche, and they lived happily ever after. And then there's this little, aside, like, or did they? And they have like a little, piece of mirror with like half the queen's face in it. So yeah, like I said, it was a fun movie to watch because it was interesting to see all the fairy tales come to life, albeit a little, like I said, a little out there, a little dark. Definitely not a children's movie. But yeah, I would say that very good production value. I enjoyed it a lot. I am surprised that I haven't watched it before since it's an older movie. And of course, I miss seeing Heath Ledger. So it was nice to see him again. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions or any discussions, any comments at all, please leave them below. If you have a movie that you'd like me to review, please leave that below as well. And I'll see everyone in the next video.